What is up, subscribers? Mike from the SPP here, and today we're going to be working on my 1998 GMC Sierra. If you guys have been around the channel for a bit, you would have seen this truck already. I made some videos on the rust repair, shitty rust repair I did here, and the same thing on the other side here, and I replaced this whole cab corner here. I still have to take the box off and finish in there. Replaced a piece of metal there, and have yet to do this cab corner here and a bit of this rocker. But I have the piece, so I just got to weld that on. Basically, the next step is to get this box off here, so I can get in behind here on this side and the other side. So that's what's already done, but what we're doing today is actually some mechanical stuff. I planned on swapping this Rad in that we got from the junkyard in our last video along with this water pump. But unfortunately, this Rad isn't going to work. If you look at this area here and compare it to the Rad in the truck, you can see the Rad in the truck has these tranny cooler lines. Also has oil cooler lines on this side. I want to delete the oil cooler setup on this truck because it just leaks everywhere, and I don't really think it's necessary, which requires a block-off plate that you put in place of the lines that go to the engine. So I'll have to get that from the junkyard. But in the meantime today, I'm going to get this old stuff out of the way at least, and we're going to focus on the Spider Injector, which is in there. Here's the replacement Spider Injector I got from the junkyard. Still dirty. I'm going to clean it up before I put it in, but you can see the idea here. It goes the opposite way, sits in there, and then one spider leg per se per injector, and that's how they get the fuel in these trucks. It's definitely not the best way, but it works, and a brand new one of those is like $260 or something, and I got it from the junkyard for, I can't remember, like 30 or something. So for a truck like this that's really cheap, that'll work out great. I got the Rad ready to pull now. Got this hose off. These are the oil cooler lines. There's a 13/16 fitting that comes off. On this side, trans cooler lines, they're 5/8. Another tube came off there, another hose at the bottom, and the shroud is held on by 6 10mm bolts that I took off. Side by side, you can easily see the differences here. These extra ports that the old one has, this one does not have. It would have had an external trans cooler and probably no oil cooler. But anyways, this Rad, the reason why, well, there, you can see right there, that's the reason why I'm changing it. It got very orangey, rusty, and gooey inside. I'm not sure if it was just because the deck's cool, but there's like caked on shit everywhere in there. The water pump, I believe, is leaking, so that's why I got this one, but it'll also help to have a nice, hopefully cleaner one. This water pump and the Rad off the same truck seemed in pretty good shape. Fortunately, this Rad won't work, but got my mark there. I can take it back to the junkyard and exchange it for another one, which means more junkyard content for you guys, which you love. Next thing to take off, everyone's favorite, the clutch fan. It should be a lot easier than it was at the junkyard because it's got the belt on, which holds the pulley in place. You basically put a crescent wrench on that nut there, hit it a bunch of times, and then lose your best friend. Yeah, this one was definitely more of a bitch than the one at the junkyard, but I managed to get her loose using this technique. Jammed the tire iron in there against the pulley so it couldn't turn, and then smacked it and it broke loose. Next, I'm going to take the belt off, probably these hoses to the water pump, take the whole water pump out. You already saw that already in the last junkyard video, so I'll skip over that. You can see on the water pump I took out here, this hole here, and where it was leaking down, this would have been on the truck like that. I'm not quite sure the whole deal with those holes. Basically, when it fails, it starts leaking out of there. The shit horse has done it a bunch, and it's no good. I didn't get gaskets, so I'll need to do that. Once I found out that the Rad wasn't going to work, I basically figured I'd wait to finish this project and just focus on getting the Spider Injector done. So that's what we're going to do now. Basically, you got to get everything out of the way here, just enough to be able to take off the top of the intake manifold and then do the Spider Injector. So I'm going to start pulling stuff off. So far, one of the things that seems to be the biggest bitch is these fucking little coolant hoses in weird places, like here, and the little guys that they have here. These clips are really fucking difficult sometimes to get off, and especially when it's in a really tight space like this. So expect to get a little pissed off, as usual when working on cars. Maybe it's just me. Fucking bitch. You can see again, ugh, orange goo everywhere in the cooling system in this thing. Starting to go around and take out the upper intake manifold bolts, well, nuts, bolts. Some of them, like this one here, you'll take off a nut, but that's just to hold a bracket, and then there's actually another bolt nut behind it, so just be aware of that. In the junkyard, I just took the fuel lines off from the Spider Injector right there, but I ended up having to bend these lines out of the way to get the upper intake off of the junkyard, and we can't do that here. So instead, there's two fuel fittings back there. I'll undo it here, and then this should all just lift off in one piece. I took them off at the back, took them off there too, and just took the whole piece out, because this actually comes off over that, so you kind of have to do that. So now I'm gonna try struggle to get some of this wiring out of the way, and we'll see if we can get this thing off and get it the Spider Injector. You could definitely take some more time and move more things out of the way, but if you're sneaky about it, you should be able to get it off. I might just take this, well, throttle cable off. I'll take maybe the throttle body. And there it is, Mr. Spider Injector. Removing this from here is pretty simple. You just pinch these connectors, pull the legs out, and then there's a bolt holding that in there. So I'm gonna pop that out, put in the other new one. Once I swap that out, it'll be the same process as removing it in reverse, obviously. There's lots of bolts for that intake, lots of different sizes. If you're amateur and not as good as me at winging it mechanically, you might wanna label those, take more pictures. I took pictures of these connectors here to see where they all went, just so I didn't fuck that up tomorrow. We're losing daylight now, so I'm just gonna try button this up quick, probably pick this back up tomorrow. It's gonna be winter here soon. Obviously driving my bagged S15 isn't really an option. I mean, I could put springs in the front, I guess, and use it, but not a winter vehicle. This is much more suited for winter. So we're gonna be working on this the next few days. Hope you guys don't mind the non-race car content. There's basically three main things left to do on this truck. Finishing up under the hood will be one of them. And then the body, which I showed you guys. The bodywork to finish up here. And the windshield, for fuck's sakes. The windshield is one more thing. Kind of worried because there's a little bit of rust here, so it'll probably be greasy in there. Might have to do some metal repair. That's where we're gonna leave it tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out in my driveway working on this truck with me, and we'll see you probably tomorrow.